25-year-old me. And the question is, why? Why is that happening? Or why has that become a norm? So for me, I like to do first level thinking. That's like going back to the source. So what could be the pattern that has been followed over the years that will now make a lady at that age more ready for life than a guy at that age? And what I have seen is that there is more mentorship for the female than the male, right? Society expects you that you're a man and you should figure things out. So since you can figure things out, you now make a lot of mistakes trying to figure things out. And some of these mistakes, as you go on, they are like scars. No matter how they still there, right? If you look at, can start with the first one. So we talk about, why are we talking about, or why are we having the men talk story? So if you look at societies, let's use the American society as an example. See a lot of single fatherhood or single children, or single parents, mother taking care of the child, the father is not around, or father taking care of the child, the mother is not around. And if you check, you see that it's because in that society, that community, the men have missed something, right? And because we are importing culture in Africa, it's becoming a reality also for us over here. If you do a lot of statistics, it'll tell you a lot of single mothers that we have, because a man decides not to be responsible, a man decides not to do the right thing, just leave, right? So I will officially welcome you to the next Talk Summit. Please help me with my book. Yes, documented some thoughts. So celebrate your neighbor, please celebrate your neighbor. Officially welcome to the men's Talk Summit, not that one. Yes. So there are some thoughts I documented, and I would just like to talk about. Now, why Men Talk Summit? What is Men Talk Summit? Last year I lost my father, October 2nd. And I remember vividly that October 1st, we did a Men Talk Summit, a Men Talk Telegram meeting, where Daddy was one of the teachers. And second, my father died. He made a loud statement to me, for me that, I will double down on this. Because he was one of the people who also taught me how to be a man from his lifestyle. I had a father who didn't talk too much, right? And I think that's what men should now start doing. Yes, I know that we want to be responsible, want to look collected, but when it comes to transpiring, we see the scripture, even the Christian, the Muslims, that they teach their children, you transpire it. It does not make you a talkative, you transfer the knowledge, because that's how you move a body of knowledge from the same generation to another generation. Look at the Jewish people, same culture, everywhere they are prosperous, everywhere. There's something the fathers transferred to them and they transferred to the children. We don't have that, right? We have a lot of, especially in this part of the world, parents hold back and see you just do stuff, right? Which is actually causing more harm than good. So for me, I learned from my father just by observing. But so many people I saw in my own community didn't have that type of father, and also didn't have that type of mind to observe. So you just find somebody leave school, and the next thing is that they want to make some money, which is a valid reason, but they want to make the money by all means. So therefore, you see a lot of young people dabbling into stuff, right? Apart from people who also want to do stuff by all means, you see young men also getting into stages of life and discovering that they were never ready. And ignorance does not care if you have a sincere heart. Ignorance is ignorance, whether with a good heart or with a bad heart, it is ignorance. And it will always, it always have a backlash on you. So I observed all of these things, while talking to people, and I'm like, why don't you know this thing? Like, see that nobody ever spoke to you, that as a young man, you have to start seeing your 60s from your 20s. You have to start understanding that your strength is classified. Your physical strength gets to an age, it starts diminishing. It is not a curse, it is just how life wired. So therefore, you have to start building a system such that in your 60s, you are not depending on your physical strength. Right? That is talking about work. Talking about building a family. I remember one of those days I was in the market. I got my first my first TED talk in the market. I was seeing one guy carrying bag of rice on his neck. And I saw another person carrying bag of rice with a wheelbarrow. And it just came to my mind the law, the Pareto principle, right? I remember growing up, my mom used to abuse me a lot because I always want to look for the little possible way to get the most results. I don't like stress. I don't look like somebody that likes stress. So I really just want to get this job done, or in the most easiest way, right? And that's what system does for you. That's what system does for you. Most of us are not building systems for our life, systems for our career. We are putting, we are putting the future of not just our own future, but even our children and children, we are putting it in the hands of systems that can fail. Right? Two, also, so what is the main talk? What is the purpose? Just to provide a platform for men to discuss challenges, growth, and society's evolving expectation. Right? Every man is expected to be a man. But the question is, what does it mean to be a man? That's everyone who say be a man. I ask that question. So what do you mean by should be a man? They're trying to say be responsible. What does it mean to be responsible? Trying to say you should feel the impulse of tomorrow today. Feel the pain of not becoming who you need to be in that future. Right? I don't know how many of you know of this NFL player called Shannon Sharpe. Just recently, he had a sexual allegation and he's 56 years old. It bothers me. A sexual allegation with a 20-something years old lady. Now, it bothered me. I asked a question. At 56, this is what you should be doing. This is a mistake somebody should be doing. 15 years old, a man at 56 is doing this same kind of mistake. I respect the age, I honor him, but sincerely, there is a dent somewhere. A knowledge was not passed down from somebody to him. That's making you think at 56, you should even be going after people in their 20s and choosing not to marry, right? And I must say this also, every man is a father, regardless if you have a child or you do not have a child. The way God wired us, He is the source. Also, we are also a source. What do I mean? So if you go biologically, the man's sperm determines the sex of the child. It fertilizes the egg. The egg can be there. Without the sperm, it's not going to fertilize. Do you understand? So, source of life also is coming from us. That's the physical, representation of other things that we do. The way we dress, some people were the one who, came together and said people should dress wear tie. Right? Some men built the society and said this is how people should do. This is how people should behave. This is how people should talk. This is how people should interact. This is how people should transact. And we are still using most of those systems till now. So what I'm saying is that going forward, men have to develop systems. You can see, personally, I was so happy. This is not a political whatever, but I was so happy when this guy gave him power in the US because he pushed back a lot of things. He pushed back a lot of things. And because they are world power, whatsoever they promote, every other society wants to copy it. Thank God for Nigeria. Thank God that we are African. Thank God that we are strict on a lot of things. But I promise you, if we didn't have these guys in the system, men will be feminized. Now, why are we that important? I already mentioned one. We are like source of things, creator of things. I'm not saying women are not creators, but I'm saying the success of a society and the failure of society will be blamed on the men, not the women. It will be blamed on the men. You are the one that is going to be accountable for doing or not doing that thing. Right? How do we know? When chaos happened now, we ask that, is there any man around? Yes or no? Have you ever seen something happen and the women just say, say there's no There's no first thing. Why? Because a man is wired to be a protector. A man is wired to be a provider. Provider in all sense. Provider of both physical form of security, emotional form of security, financial form of security, all types of security. A man is wired to do that. Now, when we keep talking about what a man is, wired to do, you see there is a lot of responsibility. And you need society of men to be able to sometimes carry on this responsibility. Another thing I've also seen in the space is that men lack accountability, right? This one is a very huge one. My brother can do something, I can say, hey bro, what you are doing is wrong. Bro to bro code is to hold ourselves accountable. It's not to keep doing the wrong thing I'm covering up for you. You should tell your brother what you are doing is wrong and you should change. Because if this person does it, this person is setting an example that I can do it and get away with it, right? And other people are going to copy. We are all being of influence. Either you believe it or you don't believe it. We are all influenced. So either you are doing the influence or something's influencing you. In fact, most times it's happening concurrently. You are being influenced and you are influencing things, right? So I saw that men lack accountability, and that's why personally, that is one of my mentors intentionally, because I believe that freedom is in constraints. It sounds very counterintuitive, but that's it. The fact that I'm free is that I can choose not to do that thing. That's real freedom. If I don't have any will of myself, I have to do that thing, then I'm not free. Freedom is that this is wrong and I'm not going to do it. So there's a constraint and I have a freedom of choice and I've made the right choice. That's what makes me truly, truly free. Not what the world is trying to tell us, that freedom is the ability to do anything you like. If it's the ability to do anything you like, that means you are under the influence of anything that comes your way. So I can do anything I like, right? So why are we having this summit to address isolation? A lot of men are becoming depressed. I know of somebody close to me also who really died of that, right? At the time when the person was dying, my God, it was like they said he had been smoking, and he was not actually smoking. He was thinking too much, so he affected the system in the body, right? So carrying the weight alone, when I can have a brother to talk to, carrying the weight alone is so bad, right? There are some things that the female gender won't understand, and it's not even a bad thing that they don't understand it. For having a brother that, bro, or more, this year, it was minus 50% my revenue. I almost fainted. And the guy is like, same thing happened to me. Just having somebody to acknowledge that, same thing happened to me. Don't worry, we'll get out of it. Right? So it calls that men need to have company, right company. Then building accountability, redefining masculinity. This one is so important to me. Right? At a point when they were trying to feminize men, there were some guys trying to push back, but they were pushing the wrong narrative. Their own idea of masculinity is that you can sleep with any number of women, that the peak of masculinity is the ability to have any woman, sleep with any one of them, and shove them off. That's the peak of masculinity. I can mention them, right? I see their comments. It was nice that they were pushing back, but what they were pushing back was what was wrong to me, right? Because culture like that comes against the culture of family, comes against the culture of fidelity. If you are going to have a right family, then you can't be an infidel. Like I used to say, I believe personally that what crashed the black community in the US was this same thing, this infidelity thing. So a cousin, a uncle can be having an affair with another woman who is already married, have their child. This one, have their child. So maybe when there's a DNA test or something just happens in the future, and all of the truth, comes out, it causes chaos. And with more chaos in the society, we're having more problems. We're having more dysfunctional children. And if there's more dysfunctional children, my God, we are going towards mess. Everybody's going towards mess. Right? So, redefining masculinity is something that's so personal to me. Challenge harmful norms and promote healthier, authentic expression of manhood. So if you feel like masculinity is the ability to be able to have, yeah, people will be attracted to you. Things are going to be attracted to you if you are, but don't now say, I want to have them all and I can discard any one of them. Now, I will touch one which I've seen happen to many guys around me, is that when you are in a building phase, it looks like no lady is concerned or no lady is looking at your side, right? They shove you off. Then you start building and start making progress and it looks like they're attracted to you. Now, somewhere in your mind, you don't know, your subconscious mind, there's a revenge system you want to do back. It is deep. It's deeper than just surface. It's like you want to revenge. So, so you want to do your revenge back. So, yeah, now, I'll break this one. Now, what makes you a man is the ability to shut that thing down. That's it. That debt. That's what makes you a man. The fact that you understand that people are moved by what they see. We live in a classist world. It's not something you can debate. You can't stop it. Classism will always be. People will always define you first by how you look before you talk. As you are coming in, they're already defining you. Like, yes. So you have to come to terms with that. But when we get to that stage, because every one of us in this room, we are great people. If one of us fall, it's going to affect every one of us. The term men are scum started from somewhere. Somebody was a scum, really. Somebody really was a scum. And they just copy and paste on everybody, right? So we have to redefine what masculinity is. Let's go to the next slide. Then our responsibility in the society, active participation, very important. We are role models. No matter how you think, I'm just a gentle boy, nobody sees me. Somebody is looking up to you. We are role models. And I think that's what some of our African fathers understood, right? So those days, you see that, all those Baba, they understood a lot. Too. They can have issues with you, but they will never fight with you outside. They will take it to the corner. The children, they won't know when we talk our stuff. They will come outside and smile. What are they trying to do? They are trying to promote the culture of unity. That's what they are trying to do. All those gestures to show that beyond the fact that we cannot be uniform, we can be united. And we don't have to be uniform. If we are uniform, it will be boring. If everybody has my own character, it's going to be boring. So that unity is what those elderly people are trying to promote by those behaviors. And we've lost it this period of time, especially even with the advent of the internet. The internet has made us more isolated. So everybody lives in their singular world. Everybody just wants to be on their own. I want to do my stuff on their own. And it doesn't work that way, right? So what is system of accountability? Self-reflection. Very, very important. You must reflect. Am I saying that you will not make a mistake? No, I'm not guaranteeing you that you will not make a mistake. But even as you make a mistake, you can call yourself and be accountable. Like, what I did was wrong. If you need to say sorry to people, say sorry to people. Right? Not saying sorry to people does not mean you are a big person. Peer support, very important. Please have that one. I advocate don't have too many friends. 1, 2 friends. Strong one in your circle. Having too many might cause you problem. But that strong one in your circle that, I can say, bro, I'm not feeling myself this week, man. I'm feeling depressed. My God, especially when you lose some money, like, bro, I feel like entering the road. The guy will say, don't enter the road. Don't. Remember the last time we lost this money and we made it back. Somebody that can just, sometimes we need that, somebody that can just tell you that, man, see, we'll come out at the top. We'll come out at the top. Community standards, setting clear boundaries that encourage respect and responsibility. If a man is not responsible, it should not be in your circle. We start with that. Somebody is not responsible. You can't be in my circle because you're not responsible. I will tell you, bro, these things must change. When we start doing that, people will adjust. People love community. Everybody does not want to be isolated, right? So community standard, very, very important. Set clear boundaries. I believe that the rise of the hyper femininity was caused by men. I strongly believe it. If we did things right, these things will not rise. I just know that. Even with the feminism, the toxic feminism people are doing on Twitter, all of them are still getting married, yes or no? All these Twitter feminists are still getting married. They want that thing. They long for that responsible person. That's the issue. It's because there's a rise of irresponsible people. They long for it. Nobody will say responsible person and still have a toxic mindset unless something is wrong with them. And we know when something is wrong with somebody. Constructive feedback, right? I made a video in 2021 where I said the older generation owes us. And what I meant in that video was that the older generation owes us perspective. Times might change, but principles don't change. Dispensation changes, right? Back in the days, people didn't have phone. But then there was communication. You have to trek to your house, check to see you. But the principle didn't change. Principle of communication has not changed. You must be open in communication. You must speak respectfully. Those things have not changed, right? Now, for me, I believe that one of the advents of the advent of increase in depression started with the consistent use of social media. So I'll paint a scenario. Very funny. If you were in 1970s, you left secondary school, and after leaving secondary school, people gained admission. There's no social media to post that I gained admission. So you don't even know what is happening in that person's life. You are just living your own life. Now, if you're not careful, you'll be depressed. You're going to be depressed. Comparison. And because there's also the classist part of we also as men, where we compare each other, which is just normal, right? Right? I remember when we were children, when new children come to the environment, you test their strength, yes or no? You play football, you pack the guy. Let me see this guy can pack me. When it's coming, you pass the ball. So that same mindset also followed us to adulthood. When you meet people, you size them up. This guy can help me. This guy help me. Right? And we need to stop all of that. So constructive feedback. Now, health, very important. Physical health, our mental health, and our spiritual health, right? I said something about, I will link this with strength. I said something about a man not focusing on your physical strength, right? In my mind, I have a class of strength. I define it as physical strength, mental strength, and spiritual strength. Now, your physical strength is from 0 to 40. The foundation is 0 to 40. It can be beyond 40, but I'm just saying, if you exercise your body, like guys, some people are 50 feet at 60. Yeah, depending on how they use their body, but like it's 0 to 40. But during that 0 to 40 stage, because when I see people who are still working hard at 60, I ask myself a question. Now, firstly, I know that I was given a privilege. Don't forget that the fact that you were born in this dispensation with internet already gave you a privilege, a leverage. So you cannot even insult anybody that they didn't do well with their life. The fact that you were born to an educated family, or a family that has a form of enlightenment, also already puts you on a new pedestal. But sometimes I just ask myself a question that you can't keep living your life like an Esau. You know the story of Jacob and Esau. Esau was an hunter, Jacob was a gardener. Now, Esau will wake up every day and say, I will go to the field and make some money, right? Every young man is like that. I will also, we go do something today. Money will enter this month. Now, very nice. But I promise you that you can't keep doing that same till your 40s, till your 50s, till your 60s. You can have that same, you can be able to do 12 hours, you won't feel it in your 20s. 30s, you can be able to do 12. At 40, you might be able to do maybe 8. When you get to your 60, man, you don't have that same strength. So therefore, we move to the next level of strength. From the beginning of our life, it's our mental strength. We start building the mental strength as regards money, as regards relationship, as regards leveraging other people, as regards leveraging your network, your social network, as regards leveraging even the money you have, investments, all of those things. The scripture says, Bible, just want to drop that in, that a good father leaves inheritance for his children. Did not even say your children. You are leaving inheritance for your grandchildren. That's what a good father does. Right? So a good father leaves inheritance for his children. Inheritance is not just only physical things. Inheritance also in the quality of life he lived, such that they can mention your name anywhere and the door will open. Anybody comes to this mall now, and one of these places, just mention Dangote, like I'm Dangote's daughter. They will not even ask you a question. Ma, just check and pick what you want to pick. First, because that man, has built a name for himself. Every man owes their generation that same thing. I know you might think there is a popular TikTok stuff that says, I am the uncle. There's type A uncle. I'll be an uncle with children. Then type B, you are single, traveling around the world, maybe at 50 years. As much as you are promoting following your beliefs, following your heart, I think following all those things evade you from the sense of responsibility. Responsibility means you are going to forego something for another thing. There's going to be what they call this law. In economics, where you choose one, cost something, opportunity cost. All of us are doing it. Until we die, we'll keep doing it. Nations of the world now are saying they don't have, they don't have birth rate. The birth rate is low. Because a generation came and said giving birth was an issue. Having a family is an issue. Right about now, they are having problems. Go to Chinese, mortality rate is higher. People are dying faster than they are being born. Right? All of the system of the world is trying to push against the natural way human beings should be. And if you ask them, they have valid reason. Somebody working 18 hours every day, where we have time for relationship. 18 hours, because they are trying to be the fastest growing economy, and they are working that fast, right? So it's affecting both the male, affecting both the female. So physical, mental, spiritual strength. Please have an anchor. You can't live life without an anchor. One anchor is God. Have an anchor. Don't try it. You can have the money, have everything, and still to side. We have a lot of examples. Heard of a man won a fashion award, and the next morning committed suicide. One of the guys from Jonas, or he was in a group, One Direction, committed suicide, jumped down after just posting on Snapchat. So even if you have the mental strength and you have made a lot or more, this one is very, very important. And that's the hierarchy of life. This controls this, controls this. The Pope died. Everybody, every nation recognized that. That's how powerful the spirituality is. Right? So now, physical health. Let's go to health. Very important. Please, let's exercise, eat the right food, build. Because when a man dies, a pillar of family is gone. One of my boss lost her husband in January or February. And when I got I could see the pain in her eyes. I was chatting with her. She said, I've known him half of my life. The person she has known half of her life, more than half, is gone. So, our health is important. Please, eat the right food. If you should stop red meat, stop it. If you drink water, drink water. Don't go and be urinating blood. Drink water, please. I'm saying this one. Drink a lot of water. Eat well. Mental stress, go for therapy. Stress management, look for something to do. Gym, play football, read. Spiritual self, please connect with purpose, value, mindfulness, and foster inner peace, so that you will not be triggered. Right? Let's move to the next one, so that we can quickly finish. Leadership and strength. Every man is a leader. I don't care. I'm a reserved person. I don't talk. You are a leader. Forget about it. Every man is a leader. Leaders might just be stratas, but you're a leader. You are leading something. Somebody is looking up to you. You are doing something that somebody wants to emulate, good or bad. I promise you. I remember when I was young, I was telling my mommy that I think one man was smoking when we went to buy stuff from Mola. You know those Mola in Lagos, they have this share in pan. So man was smoking there. I told mommy that the man should give you so that I can smoke. Is your father smoking? And that made sense to me. Because somebody's father is smoking, man. Smoke now. Am I saying smoking is a bad thing? In the long run, is a bad thing. Intermittently might not be at the beginning, but in the long, it's going to be a bad thing. It is. So leadership and strength, empathy, very important. Men should be people of vision, and I believe that we should even have collective vision, which is one of the things destroying our nation. Where we are politically is caused by what? Men. Please answer me. Men or women? Okay. Where we are politically is caused by what? If those men, they had a collective vision, maybe where we are. Dubai men had a collective vision. Singapore had a collective vision. China, Japan had a collective vision. I promise you. See, a society with men with right mindset, we go forward. Women are nurturers. It's what you give them, they multiply. That's proven, it has been proven biologically, it has proven whatever. I know the world is trying to emasculate women, which is for economic purposes and political purposes, right? Feminism started because, allegedly, the government wanted to tax both male and female. So they pushed the women into work so that they can be able to tax them, which is not bad, right? But I keep saying that. I remember I was telling somebody that I don't believe that the same rate at which a man should work should not be the same rate a woman should work. It should not be. It should not be. Me, this is my mindset though. It should not be. It should not be. Same rate, same energy, same intensity. No. There's already our intensity as men, you already have your testosterone, whatever, already gives you that boost. So you can go for hours because you have a vision and keep going. Man might not be able to, do that. And that's why when you go to the gym, man gyms for 1 year, woman gyms for 1 year. They come back, guys buffed up. Woman still, unless he takes a testosterone boost, that's what will make them look like you. So there's already biological, separation. Right? Resilience. Yes, we are born to be resilient. We are born to be resilient. One guy used to say men used to go to war. And it made a lot of sense. Men used to go to war back in the day. 18, bam, recruited to the army. Go to war. In fact, I discovered that most of the successful entrepreneurs in the US have been to the army before. The army does something to you, I don't know. They've been to the army before. From PBD, they've been to the army before. Who again? They've been to the army and they're successful businessmen. Right? So resilience, integrity, very, very important. Very, very important. That is what is causing one of our wildlife in this nation. Lack of what? Integrity. And one day, somebody here, maybe myself, will rise into a political position where I have the power to do and not do. And you have to remember that you have to be a man of integrity. Let your words be your bound. Like, let it bind. You say you're going to do it. You say you're not doing it. You're not doing it. And we all know, because even the world that we have now, people will celebrate men that don't have integrity than men that have integrity. Because men that don't have integrity have the means. Yes or no? Yes or no? That's how the world is wired. But that does not mean we should follow that. It can be the new breed that will change the narrative. This change, like I used to say, I was also talking to somebody. I said, English has become the language of prosperity. What do I mean? Most literature that we advance you is written in English. So therefore, a Chinese man will have to learn English or even come to the US to learn about medicine and whatever so that they can advance. Therefore, making English a language of prosperity. So people in the world want to know how to speak English first. And I was saying that to undo that, you take another 100 years. Because that means you will have to translate every material in English to that language that you're trying to make the new world order. You take another 100 years. I'm telling you, those guys, they planned it well, man. I celebrate them. They planned it well. So toxic masculinity trend that must end. Harmful stereotypes. These stereotypes must end. Impact on everyone. And also, we should reject toxic norms that enable authentic connections and healthier masculinity for all. Let's go to the next slide. Key takeaways, please engage in honest conversation. I've said this, please. We need to hold ourselves accountable. It's very, very important. Hold ourselves accountable. How people are accountable. So you can't live your life in isolation. Isolation won't get us anywhere because it costs more harm than good. What you could have said to somebody and get an advice or leverage, just leverage there. You have to now go through it by yourself. And because you want to say, I did it. Yes, there's that thing. Yes, it's ego. And ego is a good thing. I keep saying it. Ego is good. Ego is what makes you go to do the work and not beg. And not be a thief. Ego is what does that to you. It's what makes you say, I'm going to be good at this. I'll pay the price. It might take some time. I suffer a while, but I'll do it. It's the same ego. It's just the right kind of ego. Right? So, it's not a bad thing. I encourage that you should have the right sense of ego. Prioritize your health and accountability. We mentioned that lead with integrity and compassion. We mentioned that, and by embracing this principle, I think we can build a movement that can help transform our society. One at a time. We're not rushing. There's no rush. We have 100 years. We have 100 years. There's no rush. Might not be here. We'll teach it to the next generation. Next generation will teach the next generation. By the time we are done with 100 years, we have a balanced society back again. It was a balanced society before. Okay? I blame capitalism. Capitalism scattered everything. Capitalism, my God. People will kill for profit. Do the wrong thing for profit. They know why they are pushing it. They know why they are pushing capitalism to countries that have the monarchy structure. Because when you push democracy will push capitalism. When you push capitalism, people will do anything to get profit. And they will make money from chaos. And mention state to state. Want to turn this to political talk. Gaddafi said it. And it's happening to them. Said it. Right? So, next slide. No, just go to the next one. Yes. So, who is a man? And why is he important? Let's move to the next slide. Historical evidence. Through history, men have been a primary architect of infrastructure. Why? Because we are wired to protect. So, the protection extends to what is ours and what we love. We want to protect it. So, therefore, we build. Why are we building houses so we can have somewhere to live? How did farming happen? They didn't want to be going to the bush every time, so they started farming. How did domestication of animals happen? They didn't want to just go and be hunting every time. I can make it please every man also. We must work on our hunting mindset. It's good to have an hunting mindset, but always have a gardener mindset. Whatsoever you get is not to be eaten all. 80 might go into browser, 20 should go somewhere. Right? Your time, your resource, physical resource, intellectual resource. Please don't just be a hunter. Let us also have a gardener mindset. That's what's happening in Nigeria. We are hunting. We discovered oil. You know when we discovered oil? 1960. Tie everything, chop all the money, such that almost everybody standing here is owing. China just decided to say they want to collect their money from all of us one by one. All of us are owing. We are 200 million. Are we 200 million? That's our population. More than. But Africa is future. How many of us know that? Africa is future. Do you know that? How many of us know Africa is future? But the question is the future of what, sir? Future of consumption or future of production? And when they say it to me, I say, my brother, as the white man is saying it to me, I say, I know we are the future. Future of what? Consumption is going to be the new producers or the new consumers. As at now, we are the what? We are consumers. So now, as I'm talking today, we are consumers. And what that means is that all of us have to start producing. One way or the other. You architects, you go and be doing your Igbo box house. Give us something. We had our own architecture before these guys came, right? And neocolonialism can make us feel that theirs is better than ours. But sincerely, I don't think so. You see other nations, why are they going to Thailand for tourism? It's not because Thailand stopped originality. They won't come over here for tourism, for structure. But they're going to all these countries because these people stop. They didn't change their whatever, right? So men have been architects of infrastructure. They contribute to key sectors like science, politics, and it also shows this especially true in leadership position. Now, men hold a majority of leadership position. As of 2023, 90% of Fortune 500 CEOs are men. Key male contribution in science, politics, and leadership. Right? Apartheid, translation, Mandela, India, like India getting their independence. What's the name of this man? Gandhi. I don't want to talk about Nigeria, but Nigeria, what happened to Nigeria? Oh my God. I personally believe that we should have been codependent and just independent. We didn't have the leadership, we didn't have the resource. We should have done codependence then before we branch out. What do I do? Don't go into that. I don't know everything, but I just believe that we should have done that because what we did was divide and rule. Divide. And that's what has been happening. Divide and rule. Today again, divide and rule. Right? So move to the next slide. Now, what happened when there was a collapse of value. And if there's anything I've studied also from history is that every dispensation that collapsed, every civilization that collapsed when the men missed it and started doing the wrong thing. I will use the Roman Empire as an example. They used to go to war, conquer. But when they started focusing mainly on entertainment, they started losing themselves. And I love football, which I'm not speaking against. But personally, I believe that football is an example, a shadow of the Colosseum in the Roman Empire. What did they do in the Colosseum in the Roman Empire? People just, thank God they didn't wake up late. The men in that society didn't wake up late. Guys like what's this guy that's always going to universities and always having open conversation? The guy cried when they won. He cried because for a very long time they've been pushing the wrong narrative. And as long as the men of the society are weak, come on, anything can pass. Anything can pass. They can tell you that your child does not belong to you, belongs to the government. How dare them say that? Your child does not belong to you. It belongs to the government because some people didn't wake up when they were supposed to wake up. So they can tell you that your child really needs to wake up on us first, right? So global crime, 85% of global crime is committed by men. And this partly highlights the societal issues arising from the crisis of manhood. I remember one of the guys that on Twitter who used to go to the prison and pro bono lawyer, just fight for people. Say most of the guys that even got to the prison via cultism just did it because they want to feel among. In fact, the day the thing happened, they were not there. They were just accomplices. They packed them because they want to feel among. Where does the feel among mindset come? It came from people feeling inferior of themselves. An inferior mentality. So you think I have to be violent and join the violence gang before and that's because somebody did not tell the guy that being a responsible person is enough. You don't have to, join bad gang to feel right or wrong or to feel like a big person. Decline in male-led household, very, very important. 42% of children in the US live without their biological father. Dysfunctionality already. A man's love is different from a woman's love. A woman cannot give a child a man's love. Saw a video of a man, the mother told him, go to the bed. The boy didn't go. The father came and just did like this. The guy jumped on the bed and slept off. Go to bed. Like, I'm not going to say too much. Just please move. So father's love is always different from the mother's love. We need the mother's love. We need the father's love. I was saying one day that I would have become a stubborn child. Very, very stubborn. I grew up in Yanokwaja Oshodi area. You know how ras that area is? Very ras. My parents were teachers, father and mother. Meaning they will go and come back late. So I had all the time. My God, I'll play ball from 8 to 6 p.m. I love football. That's why when I'm talking about, I'm not talking against football. I used to be somebody that loved football. I stopped. Because I have to focus on my life. I remember when I got to GS3, that's when I said, no, I can't keep getting these canes because of this football. I'm stopping. So, but my father he insisted that you must be responsible. You be responsible for your siblings. You be responsible for yourself. And one day I just woke up and there are some people who grew up in that society. That's only their mother that was taking care of them. Their father left. And they didn't turn out fine. Right? Now, are we to blame them because they didn't know? We have to blame the person who was the progenitor of this child that didn't stay to be responsible. Now, becoming fathers, like I said, becoming fathers does not mean you already have a child. You're already a father like this. You don't have to have a son before you become a father, or a daughter before you become a father. Every man is a father. Father comes from the word to be able to provide, protect. So provide, protect, be somebody that can cover, right? So the decline in male-led household caused a lot of problems. Even in Africa, caused a lot of problems. It's just that we don't have statistics for teens. But if we really have statistics for teens in Africa, we will know that this decline in male-led household was the major problem. Or having fathers who don't take the right footings in the house. I remember growing up also, dad is around, everything is in order. Everything is in order. Now, it looked like a fear. Now it's dead, and I understand better. What he's trying to tell us is that you are going to grow up and leave me, and your life must be in order. That was what he was trying to tell us. With those means that they understand that we can now work on, and so that we don't transfer trauma to the next generation. We can work on it. They didn't understand better, but they did the best they could do with what they have. And we turned out fine. So we'll just refine. And even after you refine it, the generation will come and tell you that what you did is wrong. It's human. Humans are used to evolving. So as we evolve, we say what they did that time is not the right thing. What we are doing is right. A generation will come and say, well, the generation will come and laugh at our AI. So all this AI that I said, they will laugh at us. I say, what are you guys doing? You guys live in the archaic age. You'll be shocked. Don't worry. In the 50s or so, you will see. Societal chaos is often tied to the neglect of responsibility and moral leadership. Yes, which reflects a decline in traditional values. Yes. Now, why society collapse can be attributed to men? Why? Why not the female, whatever? I could use the story of Genesis. When the man shifted the blade to the woman, everything scattered. It would have just been responsible and just ask for forgiveness. And we all be in the garden of what? Eden. But this man shifted the blade. My God. And caused chaos for us. That's on a lighter note. But irresponsible leadership, my God. Example include corporate scandal demonstrating a lack of ethical behavior. I mentioned as example of this guy that had issues, Shannon Chappelle, this week, right? Also, I saw a clip yesterday on Eric Gugwa's page where a guy came out and admitted that he was following this toxic masculinity trend, which I mentioned before, that the peak of masculinity is the ability to be able to have any kind of woman that you have, sleep with them and shove them off. That's what the word says. That's what the standard of the word says. That's the peak of masculinity. Have your yacht. I mean, I always know that guy that said that if you don't have a Lambo, what do you have between your legs? One guy said that if you don't have a Lambo, what do you have between your legs? Slippers or so. That guy is in prison in Dubai. They discovered that he was drugged. Don't let anybody pressure you. Discovered that he was drugged, that he was carried. It's drug that made that guy to be talking to me anyhow, insulting me. So irresponsible leadership has caused problem. Lack of mentorship. I said it before. A 25-year-old lady and a 25-year-old male. It's considered a 25-year-old lady is ready for life. Why? A lady has been mentored from her life. From age 3, they're already telling her, this is how you behave in your husband's house. They did not say this is how you behave in your husband's house. They will tell her, take care of your siblings. The boy can go and play football and be responsible in life. They will say, don't worry, he's a man. Abi? But that guy needs more mentorship. Because if he does not lead right, he will lead astray. And when he leads astray, they will follow astray too. Problem will keep expanding. Cultural shifts, toxic masculinity, and the absence of assertive role model. Very, very important. Assertive role model. Like I used to say, I'm grateful that my dad did what he did when I was young. Really, really helped us. I learned love from him. I'm intentionally saying this just to celebrate him because, my God, I learned love from him. I learned sacrifice from him. I learned how to die to things from him. Rather than cause chaos, he preferred that he is at the receiving end so that everything will be fine. Receiving end of anything. Father could have bought car. We knew when he could have bought car. That period he built a house. He said his friends were buying a car. I said, I'm not buying a car. Not knowing that I was going to even die that early. Right? Now he's dead. My mother is not living in a rented house. She's living in a house. Dear house. That's how a man thinks. I'm not saying you're going to die, but you feel the pulse of tomorrow today. You feel the pain of tomorrow today. So because you are feeling the pain, your decisions are they are systematic. I want this, I want this, I want this. So I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. A good father leaves inheritance for his children. I mentioned that before. Now, the need for men to uphold the right value. Why? Integrity, accountability, service. We're born to serve. We're born to serve. Even if you see 2-3 years old, small boy that you have not talked about love, is trying to hold a girl and not let her fall down. It's just wiring. A wire to serve. Right? So this generation of I want to live, what they say, I want to be free. Yes, like I said, freedom is a constraint. Men must embrace integrity, accountability, and service to others. Societies thrive under strong and value-driven male leadership. I promise you. Men serve as crucial role model for future generation. Yes. And what happens when good men step up? One, responsible family. My God, family is the SI unit of the society. Family is right, society will be fine. Believe it or not, family is right, society will be fine. Reduced crime, yes, so please, so if you are doing anything, please stop. This is the right way. Stable communities, yes, stable communities. If you see the Asian community and you see that they grow old, apart from their diets, they have a community-driven mindset. Everybody stays in the community, talk to each other, share their problem and all of that stuff. So call to action, building a generation of the right men. Number one, we have to talk about it, we have to educate each other. I'm not going to know. When people say that he is not responsible, how will he be responsible when he has not been taught how to be responsible? You can't blame me for what you can't demand from me what you have not taught me. This society can't demand from us what has not been taught to us, right? They do it to the other gender, to the female gender. A lot of conversations. In fact, this year we have more meetings for women than men. Yet these guys are supposed to be the leaders of society. These guys are supposed to be the leaders of family, right? But people don't know if fidelity is not a problem because they saw it growing up. I will tell them it's a problem. We are wired to live by influence. What we associate with becomes our reality. So, emotional intelligence, very important. That's a large topic. Very, very large topic. Emotional intelligence for men, my God. It's a deep topic. Then mentorship. We need to promote mentorship to guide younger generation towards positive value. I'll put it out there. For the Men's Talk Summit, we're also planning that we start going to secondary schools and talk to these young guys. I've met 16 years old young boys, met 15 years old, 14 years old. Nobody is talking to them, right? Nobody is telling them that this money you are running for and running after, become valuable in this and this. They will be looking for you. This same mind, you just copy and paste it here. And this same resilience, copy it here, you'll be fine. Nobody is saying it, right? So, mentorship for the younger generation, very, very important. Conclusion, the responsibility of the modern man as the principles are still the same, but the actions have changed depending on the dispensation that we are, right? And the principles always stand the test of time. Principles of integrity will always stand the test of time. Men play a unique role in shaping communities. We do. Shape art, shape culture, entertainment. We do. We have this strong force to shape things. And there's an urgent need for men to reclaim their leadership role. The problem is from leadership. And like John C. Maxwell says, that everything rises and falls in leadership. So if it's going to rise on leadership, it's going to crash on leadership. I made the example of the Roman Empire. It rose on men, crashed on this same thing, right? So the true measure of a man is how he improves the society or men. So we should strive to leave a positive impact, pass it to the next generation pass it to the next generation. And by the time we say 100 years from now, we have a better society. Like I mentioned of the Jewish community, man, those guys, if not over 50% of wealthy businesses in this world, we own it. We've been able to pass it down. That culture, that mindset has been passed down from generation to generation, and they've been able to make a lot of impact. So I'll just, that's 5 minutes more. Now we'll talk about pressures. I wrote it down. Pressures in our finances, career, and business. Now, are pressures real? Yes. In my mind, I classify pressure as undue and undue pressures. So we know the undue pressures to be seen as who you are not. So therefore, you have to do what you don't need to do to get what you think you need, so that people can perceive you as that kind of a person. Not needed. The due pressures to me are the pressures of growth. The fact that the next 6 months from now, I shouldn't be the same version of my person, same version of the person that I am now. It's a due pressure. Very, very understanding. put yourself under that kind of pressure. I should have gotten this skill. I should have gotten this skill. I should have become, a better version of myself. Also, that is going to talk about a lot of things, but finances also. You say cut your coat according to your size. Some people say you should cut it below. Either one. According to your size, below your size. Just cut it right. Right? And I will keep saying there's no need to prove any point where there's no point to be proven. At the end of it all, persistence will always beat all of these other things. A friend of mine will tell me that in PG, say job will give you 5,000, will still give you 5 million. Just stay consistent as long as you're on the right path. Just stay consistent. Just stay consistent. You need to stay consistent. I watched a video of a woman. There's this guy, OAC creator. He showed a woman in Modakeke that she has been selling rice. She has been selling rice for 30-something years. People in the comment section said she has built a house with that same rice. When I hear the salary of my father and what he did for us, sent 3 or 4 of his children to university, one of them to private university, I just shake my head. What did that generation know that we don't know? They knew something. I know that what they know is consistency. They understood consistency. Stay on the path. It will crack open. They will stay on it and they will get their results. They understood consistency. Our generation is kind of fickle. We want it fast. Yes, and sure, the internet makes things fast. What their generation will take 10 years to get, you can get it in 1 year if you are consistent. Use the right tools. Come on. But in all of this, you cannot exclude the need for patience. Patience is always important. And as men, we have to employ that. We have to be patient in the stuffs that we will do. I think I already touched that. Responsibility, system of accountability, health, physical, mental, spiritual, leadership. Then talk about finances, career, and business. Please, can we help me celebrate Mr. Luash Manzat, one of our speakers? Sir, you can come to the front, sir. Please celebrate him more. So we talk on career if you like. If you like, don't connect. I remember meeting him last year. Last year or 2020. I can't remember, sir. The event we came to, we are not even more than 30. This man gave his own. I say, I'm inviting him over. Because very soon he's going to speak to millions. And if you can use the same energy, that's one of the signs of a leader. Please show my, what do you call it? My home screen. No, my home screen. Come here. Go back to my home screen. Yes. Go back. So I have this thing on my home screen. Some people are laughing. When you see somebody that can give the same energy that they will give to 1 million people while talking, and they give it to 30 people, it's a sign of greatness. It means that that person is a stable human being. That's what we don't even have in our generation. Stability. That I can see myself. When people get money, they say, I changed. You didn't change. You were still the same person. That thing was in you. It's not like you changed. No. It is still you. It is still you. Right? So when people say that I'm not the same anymore, I just look at myself. Yeah, you are still the same. In the sense that this human didn't change. It was just knowledge updates that you had. The human being is still the human being. Right? So please celebrate him once more. Thank you very much for showing up. I really, really appreciate it. So please, have his vision board. I don't know. I can't talk about it. Please have it on your. I'll send you screenshots. Have it on your laptop. There's a way. I don't know. Some days you just look at it like, the time I put this thing, it's 1,000 I have in my account. So that's shifted. Life has a way of working with that. When you have a picture, there's a rule that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Every time it has worked for me. When I get to that place, I'm ready. I know that, okay, something will appear or something will show up. So the ability to identify the opportunity that, okay, yes, this is it. Start doing it. I remember the space I work now. So I just went to an event. Somebody sat beside me, started talking, boom. That's how everything changed in my career space. So thank you very much for having me, guys. I really, really appreciate it. I don't know if anybody has any question. This is the open. We're going to be bigger than this. Trust me. The day we're going to do the summit, 500 people are going to come. I'm very confident about it because the time has come. That's what I'm seeing. The time has come. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing it every time I lie down on my bed. The time has come. The time has really come where the right people will get to power, where the right people will be the one dictating the rule of the land. Somebody's going to be inspired here, and we gather people again and just say, this next year election, we are going to be part of it, and we're going to do it the right way. And okay, some of us have to enter the House of Senate. Some of us have part of the representative. Some of us have to start with our local government. Say our local government, our road is bad. What can we do? I remember when I was young, when in Lagos, if the road is bad in your streets, there's a day that the men chooses and they refuse sack. And that's communal living, even though the government should do it for us. But it just made every sense to me that they saw it that this road is bad. It's going to spoil our car. We have a car. And let us dedicate on Saturday and fix this in ourselves. And be able to do it. So I don't know if anybody has a question. We're to join our next speaker on Zoom, Mr. Paul Oliveri.